Hi everybody, this is Jim Karagianis from Powerful Practices International. Today I want to discuss a theme and a topic that I think is very common and a lot of chiropractors will be able to relate to, and that is, what do we do when a child that we normally have seen for a long period of time suddenly decides on this day they don't want to get adjusted. They'll get agitated, hysterical, whatever. And so what do we do in those situations? And what really prompted me to actually record, I should say, this practice pointer was an experience I had a couple of weeks ago in practice. And this scenario has happened quite a few times over the years I've been in practice, where I'll get a child who suddenly doesn't want to get adjusted on that particular day, and we might have had an experience and a relationship over quite a few years, but I not so much a rule, and there's plenty of pediatric chiropractors out there who are much better informed at this whole area than I am. But what I've always wanted to do is to ensure that the experience that the child has was always a positive one. And so if a child for some reason knew chiropractic quite well, but doesn't want to get adjusted on that day, I've never stressed or pushed that point. I've wanted to empower them to actually make a decision for themselves. And I've always said that I never want to burn the relationships I have with that child, and I don't want it to negatively impact on the experience they have as they relate to health professionals. So on this day a couple of weeks ago, mum and an 18-year-old little girl came in for their normal regular adjustments. I adjusted mum as I had, and then it was the little girl's turn. She would have been 18, 19 months old. And I've been seeing her since about 2 weeks old. So this is not new to her. This is a familiar environment. And on that day, she just screamed. She just cried and carried on, didn't want to get adjusted. And mum was really surprised, and I was too, because she's always jumping up on the table to get checked. So what I did at that moment, turned around and said to mum, listen, you know what? Let's just leave it for today. It's a normal wellness check. I don't want to burn her. I want her to still have a positive experience, and I don't want it at least to impact on how she relates to other health professionals. And in that moment, what happened was pretty profound. Mum actually looked me straight in the eye and just burst into tears. She started crying, and I asked her, is everything okay? What's going on? And mum's about 42 years old, and she suddenly said, oh my gosh, I now get it. I now understand why I have an aversion to going and seeing health professionals, and was always reluctant. And when I probed a little bit more about that, she said, when I was a child, I can vividly remember being held down to go and see a health professional. I was screaming and carrying on, and I've carried that all my life. I didn't realize how much it impacted on my decisions and my choices, and why I just, anytime I had an issue, I was reluctant to go and see health professionals. So, in that moment, she thanked me, but it just reinforced that whole principle that I've always had, and that is, when it's not just about the adjustment on that day, it's what relationship are you seeking to have with the people of your practice, and what impact will a particular adjustment have on how they look at their overall health and well-being. So it positively reinforced how I went about that, and I will continue to do that, and ensure that how kids, particularly around that 18-month-old, 2-year-old age, see health professionals. And I never ever want them to actually have an association, whether it's their chiropractor, GP, whoever, that they don't have the trust and confidence in them, and they're scared to actually go and see them. So in sharing this story, I hope that it'll have an impact on you and have an impact on the people that you serve. Have a great day. Hi everybody, I hope you enjoyed the practice pointer I just recorded, and for those of you who have a phenomenal attention to detail, you probably noticed in the body of the recording that I mentioned an 18-year-old when I actually really meant to say an 18-month-old. And I contemplated editing it, re-recording the video, but I just wanted to be vulnerable and show people that, one of the most common things that we say is, if you want to start something, you've got to be prepared to be lousy at it. And if you wait until you're actually perfect at what it is that you want to do, you'll never get started. So by showing you my muck-up, my mistakes, I wanted to highlight and reinforce another coaching tool, and that is, a job worth doing is a job worth doing lousy, and being okay with that, so that the next time you do it, it gets better and better and better. So hopefully by showing you my outtake, it'll actually inspire you to actually start taking action to get you closer to where you want to go. Have a great day.